Hey Chance, I want to thank you and welcome you to BuildINC Business here at the Incubator. I'm the director, Marcherie Savage. This is Chance with STRACT. Can you just start out by telling us a little bit about you, what you do, and what got you involved at the Incubator?
Well, I'm a proud native Chattanoogan. Went to entrepreneurship right after I graduated college in mechanical engineering in 2019 from UTC. And just fell in love with everything to do with 3D printers and just how stuff's made. And turns out that as I did more and more research, that a lot of the industry is struggling to keep up with demand right now. I was like, well, let me just dive in feet first. And so rather than, I guess, like kind of going in and working my way through a different company, I was like, well, you know what, let me just go ahead and jump right in. And so I started making stuff for a lot of different people, and it kind of grew into what I'm doing today.
Cool, that is so cool. What type of things do you make, and who would you say is your targeted audience?
Well, the target audience that we have really decided to dig in on are a lot of different companies that large over 50-year-old companies that have a lot of endangered or extinct parts. We found a niche in that because there's a lot of companies out there that can machine or 3D print or do kind of whatnot in that process, but there's not a lot that understand the process involved between kind of really complex shapes and like 3D scanning and the like there. And so that was the niche that we're like, you know what, we're gonna dig in on. And so a good example of this would be for Mars Corporation with the Twix bar. We actually designed a piece for them that required 3D scanning and a lot of organic modeling because a lot of engineers today, they tried and they couldn't get it to be 3D printable. And so we did that process, and we actually reduced their scrap rate on the caramel. This device pushed the caramel onto the cookie, and it reduced their scrap rate by 80% and is now being deployed internationally as a gold standard part. And we recently did that, and we also recently did a height gauge system for Nissan as well for several of their processes, just because they needed something very quick to add to the line for, well, they weren't allowed to tell us. So, but yeah, so we have a privilege of getting to work in a lot of these spaces with a lot of these companies, you know, that are running into very, very difficult and endangered parts.
So how many years have you been in business? And that thought came about because how did you get to work with Mars and Nissan? Like, what's going on here? You got the plug.
It's the privilege of just all the wonderful relationships that I've been able to hone over the last, I've been doing this kind of version of this business for the last 5 years. And so with my partners, with STRACT, we actually came in around 2 years ago and we started at this. And a lot of these relationships that were developed over the years were, a good example was actually through Hamilton County Schools would be a good example. Volunteered over 1,000 hours with them to repair a lot of the ELAT and the digital fabrication facilities. We actually have the largest collection in the world here in Chattanooga. And I had the privilege of building several of them and also continuing to maintain a lot of them. So in that, just word kind of got around that's like, hey, this person is a specialist in 3D printers and all like there. And so a lot of people end up, and thankfully a lot of my close friends and office kind of peers actually send people over to us. And so our marketing is a lot of word of mouth.
That's great. That's great, and that's true. I know relationships, really can get you in those doors. Speaking of relationships, how did you get into the Incubator? Like, who told you about the Incubator? What relationship led you here?
The Incubator is kind of a fun, like, I don't want to say secret, but it is kind of a big thing that that I actually had several friends that had gone through this program, either through like everyone from like Velo to Sierra Madre to Branch, like everyone that I know of that exists to this day speaks so highly of this program. And so it kind of was one of those things that I came in saying like, man, it would be a privilege to get to utilize all of the benefits of the between the programming and the affordable rent and the geographic location of just being in the heart of commerce in Chattanooga. So I was like, man, just this trifecta, And so it was just through a referral of several kind of big entrepreneurs in my heart, several big entrepreneurs that that we applied, and thank goodness I think we were one of the fastest approvals, just because we were really pushing hard because we were out of space. We actually had 30 pallets coming in for a client, and that was why we with the team there. You can ask Kelly. At one point, I think she wanted to beat us over the head just because we were like every day like, hey, so just real quick, is there anything that's needed from our side? And yeah, we were hungry to get into this program.
Man, I'm so happy to have you a part of this program. For those of you who don't know, Chantz is so supportive of everybody within the incubator community. Myself, I've only been in this role about 8 months, and Chantz has been so supportive. So I definitely wanted to kick the podcast off sharing about Chantz, STRACT, and all of the cool work that he does, and about the incubator. One thing, if somebody wants to come to the incubator, what would be your selling point of just, if they're like on the line of thinking like, hey, I would like to apply, but I'm not really sure if I want to go through with that, or what is their programming like? And they just had generalized questions. What would be your selling point to the incubator?
Well, I think the lowest hanging fruit would be, of course, the affordable, the means to be able to affordably do market testing, or to develop and scale. With a lot of the subsidies there, I mean, our 1,900 square foot office ended up being, I think, 1,100 our first month, first year there per month, and that included utilities. I mean, that is super invaluable. But where I'd say that kind of the secret sauce of a lot of the incubator is the community and the programming. That is unmatched anywhere. It's like it's the same level of influence that I think that what made a lot of these Silicon Valley startups really successful. It was the community, getting to those niches, getting to talk with other people that are in the weeds with you. There is something so powerful about being able to kind of be in the weight training room together.
Gotcha.
And in addition to the programming being a huge impact, because it brings to light unknown unknowns. And that's the whole world of entrepreneurship, is surviving whenever an unknown hits you in the teeth and you're like, whoa, I did not expect there to be a tax bill or a license or this, that I missed, or man, I didn't realize that I missed a huge wave of marketing potential based on this, and this. So having the clean, consistent programming and your neighbors nearby always saying like, wow, this opportunity came up, that you literally, it is almost impossible to really to completely lasso in just how valuable that is as an entrepreneur stepping into the space, because you truly, there's so many unknown unknowns.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the more you can do that, the more control you can have, and the stronger you can drive forward to get to that kind of escape velocity.
Okay,
So.
I like that. The unknown unknowns. Yeah. Speaking of unknown unknowns, I did not know until you told me that you could do warehouse fulfillment on some things, right?
Yeah.
So share a little bit about that, like that new avenue that you're diving into.
We've had the privilege of being able to serve several of our clients, literally from bar napkin sketch all the way to selling over $1 million of product. And fact of the matter is as you go to scale a lot of e-commerce solutions, I mean, my goodness, all these fulfilled by Amazon, fulfilled by TikTok, these entities, they're fantastic on paper, but when you run the real costs of a lot of them, you're giving up about 30% of your margin in most cases to all these fees. And most importantly, you're giving up control. Anything goes wrong or whatever it is there, you're operating against a massive AI that just says, nope, all returns accepted, and you're getting hit from all angles. So really what we found is like, man, a lot of these products, they're very easy to pack, but most importantly, they're easy to personalize. And that was the niche that we wanted, is that several times we had clients like, man, I wanted to add just a Christmas card, just something to show how much we appreciate our clients. And they weren't able to. And so we're like, man, we can do that. We can put that card for you. We can put that in there. And so I was like, man, what if there was a warehousing fulfillment solution that would scale with the customer? And so that was something that we've integrated to our suite recently. We're managing about $5 million of consumer product right now, and we're hoping to continue to grow this into something that can again be a vital and supporting engine for a lot of e-commerce startups.
Man, Chantz, that's so cool. That's so cool, and I'm always rooting for you. So do me a favor, tell the people if they're looking to find a service like that, where can they find you at? How can they contact you?
Oh, well, appreciate if you have a product idea, that Shark Tank product idea, please feel free to reach out to us at stract.studio. And if you end up having any warehouse and fulfillment questions or any of the like there, please just go ahead and come in through STRACT Studio. Happy to give you to talk and just see if there's any way that we can be able to support you in your journey, because you know we want to be there for you, because I mean I wish I had that, you know, when I did my first startup. So yeah, super excited and happy to help in any way we can.
Thank you, Chantz. And thank you guys for tuning in to BuildINC Business. And I'm Marcherie Savage, the director here at the INCubator. If you want to learn more about our services, our programs, the building, visit incubatorchai.com. Peace.